Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I smell the stench of games being played on a grand scale. But didn't we all know that this was going to be a part of the game? If you're going to change the world, it's not going to be a very smooth ride. It's going to be a bumpy ride. But one thing that you should know and put as a feather in your cap, and that is that the XRP ledger genie does not go back in the bottle. It's out there. It's a thing. It's alive. And no matter what anybody does, it's still going to be out there, and people are still going to be building on the greatest digital asset ever created, the XRP ledger. It's just the way it is. But that doesn't mean that political games will not be played. So, and just think about this for a minute. So over 2 years now, all we've seen is everything that never made sense, even more so doesn't make sense now. Everything that's being done does not make sense. You got Bitcoin and Ethereum, two proof of work digital assets, and proof of work does not work, as we know. You got those two where the miners are controlled by China, and the technology, Ethereum's being changed over to something that's not proof of work because proof of work doesn't work and is not scalable. And so amidst all of that, you've got this one digital asset that is perfection, and everybody knows it. It's the fastest, the most scalable. It's the greatest digital asset ever created, and they all know it. And they also all know, and meanwhile, you've got all these billionaires that have staked their claim to these two being the ones that are going to get through. So you literally have a war going on here, but these two cannot and will not be the winners in changing the world in terms of the way money's moved. They can't. XRP can, but they can't. So it's not a coincidence, and I'll say it again. It's all about the XR. It's all about control and the XRP escrow. I don't care what anybody says. It's something I've said on this channel from day one. We've called it all kinds of things. Allocation, pre-allocation. We couldn't have known how it may have been allocated or how it was worked out or how it would be worked out. I believe you are watching the game of games be played right now out in front of you. But make no mistake, the digital asset investor will be accumulating. I accumulated some yesterday. I will be accumulating XRP all the way to the end, folks, because that's if they let us keep it. Remember, it's not for us. There is a scenario that's going around in my mind where, and this is a potential scenario. What if, I don't have anything to prove this, by the way. What if all these exchanges that everybody's worried about, they're going to delist XRP. What if they just halted trading on all of those? And what if we were asked at some point to turn that XRP in or something like that happened? What if there was more to Flare than we even realized? What if that was our XRP in the future? Who knows? But what I do know is that there are massive games being played. And here's another thing. I'm drawing a blank. I had a thought in my mind that I wanted to get across to you. Please, I don't want to forget that. Anyway, it'll come to me in a minute. But so let's move along. I want to make my point even further. I sent out this tweet this morning, just a few minutes ago. When are Tom Emmer, Chris Giancarlo, Brian Brooks, and other leaders in crypto going to weigh in on an SEC chairman that watches Ripple for 8 years? Now, remember, everything that they do is under the auspices of they're wanting to protect all of us. Well, I don't think many of you out there felt very protected over the last 24 hours when your investment went down 35%. So is it really about protection, or is it about control? Because I don't think protection has anything to do with government agencies as they are today. They seem to be more against the people than for the people. But so here's the question: is where are all these guys? Christian Carlo, Brian Brooks, all these, Tom Emmer, who said himself, XRP is not a security. I showed you yesterday. Where are they? When are they going to weigh in on an SEC chairman that sits for 8 freaking years, 8 years, and watches Ripple, not just watches them do everything they've done with XRP very transparently. They've put out reports. They've worked with regulators from day one, watches all of it. And then he turns around and files a suit against them 8 years later as he heads out the door. And I said, something's very rotten here, because it is. That's not how you would do this if your real mission was to protect the public. Because if you're trying to protect us, then you would have stopped it after a year once it came to your attention, but you didn't. So that tells you everything. This is a game. And look, make no mistake, Ripple's not going to squander everything they've worked for. This will be resolved. And this is what people think, oh no, this is a scary lawsuit. This will be resolved in one way or another. Everybody involved has an interest in resolving it. But here's my one question for the SEC. If my XRP is a security, what is secured? What do I own? I need to know, because that is the most ludicrous thing in the world, is the idea that it's a security, because it doesn't make any sense. On its face, it doesn't make any sense. Nobody, and I even tweeted it out this morning. Nobody that I know, and I certainly never thought that I was buying XRP and I'm buying shares of Ripple. That's ridiculous. I mean, that's ridiculous. Nobody saw that. And the freaking lawsuit says that. So anyway, my point is this, and I want to make sure everybody understands this. In the short run, and I've always said I own a little bit of Bitcoin, and not really Ethereum until recently. I got a little bit of Ethereum, not a lot, but I've got enough Bitcoin and Ethereum as really the only reason I ever bought any of that was as a insurance policy, for a proof of work insurance policy, only because all these government officials seem to just be in love with these two things. And I just wanted to make sure, to have a little bit of it. And that's kind of how I am now. But I'm accumulating XRP. That's because I know those are garbage in the end. But for whatever the weird reasons are, the government is only approving these two. And for anyone out there who thinks, oh, that's funny, look what happened to Ripple, you won't be laughing long if you are an owner in any other digital asset besides these two right here, because this is just an indicator that they're coming for you too. Now, and aren't we finding out who our enemies are? That's a great thing about things like this. I've learned that when you have hard times, you always find out who your enemies are. It's a nice thing, because you can find them out who they are, and then okay, I know who you are now. And they tend to always come out. And just to name a few, Rand Nooner came out as he made it very clear, and go look at his tweets, that he's a complete enemy of anybody that's an XRP holder or whatever. So he's one of them. And then we saw Vitalik Buterin expose himself, Anthony Pompliano expose himself, some of the good guys that exposed themselves. Charles Hoskinson of Cardano, good guy. And also, whether you like him or hate him, Justin Sun came out in support of Ripple. And there's several others, and you'll see them pop up. Now, before I leave this, I wanted to bring something else to your attention. Don't forget, because I'm asking these guys like Christian Carlo, where are you at? Where are you at? Because this is ridiculous on its face, what they've just done. Where are you guys at weighing in on this? Because I know for a fact his law firm is one of Ripple's clients, and Brian Brooks has been on things and seems pretty pro innovation and all this. Tom Emmer has shown support for Ripple. So where are you guys at? Because this is ridiculous. Okay, unless it's part of another plan. But I wanted to remind us all, never underestimate government manipulation of what's happening in this world-changing technology. This is from October 22nd, 2019. Christian Carlo literally said that he was instructed and was in a meeting, and the meeting was for the purpose of reining Bitcoin in 2017, for pulling it in. And they did so. They created the Bitcoin futures, and they reined in the entire crypto market back in 2017-18. So don't think that this is not all by design, because it is. Now I want to show you this too, because this is the only thing you need to see today. This might be the most important thing you see today. And actually, this is from XRP Yo-Yo. Divide and conquer. Philip II of Macedonia. Still happening, zero doubt. And what he's showing you here is the biggest holders, the biggest whales in XRP are the ones that are not selling. It's only the people that are not the biggest whales that are selling. Okay? And that should tell you just about everything you want to know. And I wanted to make a point this morning, and I tweeted this out. There's a startup in a garage somewhere that is working on a unique use case for XRP. This genie doesn't go back in the bottle. The XRP ledger lives. It lives without Ripple, and that's the whole point. That's the whole reason this idea of it being a security is so ridiculous, is because it's going to be there. If the SEC, they won't, but if the SEC shut the company Ripple down, even if they did, they're a global company. They would go operate in a different country. But if they did, if they were able to shut the company down and put everybody in jail, the XRP ledger is still out here, and it would, people could still build projects and apps and all kinds of things on the XRP ledger. It goes on. That's why it's so obviously not tied to Ripple. And I made this point too this morning. I never thought I was buying shares of Ripple, and I don't know anyone who did. That was the whole premise of the lawsuit, is that we all thought we were buying a security. No. So Joker weighed in. He says, SEC says Larson dumped around 500 million XRP into the market and that Ripple manipulated the market. Such a move in the middle of a bull run tells me that it is nothing but just an orchestrated attack on the XRP community. Ripple will fight back, but it takes time. Stay strong. I agree. And then Brad Garlinghouse had tweeted out this, and you need to go read the whole thing because I'm not going to read the whole thing here. Ripple has spent 8 years working tirelessly to build an incredible company, transforming global payments. Our mission doesn't stop. Here's what I sent to employees yesterday and our lawyer's reaction to today's SEC filing. And he even includes in here something he said to his employees. Hi, Ripplers. In my 5+ years at Ripple, I've seen an incredible amount of progress, innovation, growth. This year alone, we've brought new products, I want to get to the meat of this. He denies all the stuff that they're saying. And then he says, as you all know, we've always tried to over-communicate, be as transparent as possible, and explain how we think about the long-term value of XRP. We have always worked to partner with regulators. We've proactively partnered globally and even here in the U.S., cooperating and acting in good faith with the SEC. Even while these conversations have dragged on, we were ready and willing to continue the dialogue. Unfortunately, in this lame duck status as chairman Jay Clayton exits, he has decided to make very serious allegations. In other words, let me get to what I think is the most important part. There was a part, here it is, right here. It says, Chris and I had the option to settle separately. We could do that, and it would be behind us. Not happening. That's how confident Chris and I are that we are right. We will aggressively fight and prove our case. Through this case, we will get clear rules of the road for the industry here in the U.S. We are not only on the right side of the law, but we will be on the right side of history. Now, I believe that what they want is, I believe that everybody involved knows that the Howey test doesn't apply to digital currencies. I believe they want this to be a settlement of some sort, and what comes out of it is a Ripple test. And that would create some sort of a new classification for these things. And then it makes the lawsuits go away. I believe that's where this is going. Okay. Stuart Alderati weighed in. He says, it's easy to play amateur Twitter lawyer. Wait till you see the real pros in action. Michael Kellogg has argued 14 cases in the Supreme Court and hundreds more in courts of appeals nationwide. Check out Andrew Seresny, the rest of DNP's team as well. Okay. And then this is a clip from Charles Hoskinson, who weighed in, from Stephen Bull Dieppe. He weighed in on the Ripple situation.
And their statements they've made on Bitcoin.
By the way, for those of you that don't know, he's the creator of Cardano.
Bitcoin and Ethereum, and the facts and circumstances of the XRP case. I don't believe that XRP is a security under those standards and statements. And it'd be quite problematic for the SEC to capture this under their definition, because it would inadvertently capture most of the cryptocurrency space if desired. There's really no way to satisfy it. And it's not clear how would you even operate a system. For example, if somebody was responsible for reporting, if the reporting entity goes out of business, the protocol and currency are still there. So then who reports for it? If Ripple was to be a security, then every U.S. holder of XRP would be holding securities and actually in violation of securities laws themselves. And they would lose all liquidity in the United States, but then enjoy, because they've already been approved as a currency or another instrument abroad, different forms of liquidity abroad. So it's an incredibly puzzling case. It's quite bizarre. And just unbelievable to me that it would be issued right before Christmas, just a few days before the end of the year. And when there's a transfer of power from one administration to another, one group to another group, it looks like a bad decision, all things considered. So
it looks like an extremely petty decision. I mean, let me make a prediction here. I believe that this is the worst thing that Jay Clayton could have ever done. I believe he's going to be remembered for this, and not in a good way. I think that he just literally ruined his reputation for good with what he just did. Sergeant Obi-Wan, how did the SEC let MoneyGram partner with Ripple if it was in violation? Didn't MoneyGram file with FCC to get approval to do this? Yes, exactly. That's one more thing that's so ridiculous about this. If nothing else, who wants to be looked like the kind of backstabber you'd have to be to pull something like this? You got this company that's been trying to do the right thing for 8 years and been right there out in front, filing reports, showing everybody they weren't trying to hide anything. They went straight to the regulators from day one. That's what Greg Kidd said when I talked to him. Went straight to the regulators and have been. That's why this is only one of two things. This is either some really bad guys that are doing some really nefarious things to let Bitcoin and Ethereum be the winner, or this is all a plan and all the world's a stage. I kind of lean to all the world's a stage, that we're watching the play unfold. Now, this is interesting. Equity Pool sent me this. This is the actual lawsuit from the SEC. I wanted to draw your attention to this page down here, which I thought was kind of interesting. Here it says the related entity and individuals, and it's got co-founder, age 45. And they've labeled these people without names. Cryptographer-1, Ripple Agent 1, Ripple Agent 2, Ripple Agent 3. And here's a breakdown of who these are. Co-founder is Jed McCaleb. Cryptographer-1's Joel Katz. Ripple Agent 1 is Arthur Brito. Ripple Agent 2 is Miguel Valles. And as you go down here, David Schwartz was getting a kick out of it. In fact, he changed his title on Twitter for a while to Cryptographer-1. So I think he was having a good time with it. Okay, there was several people that had some insightful tweets about all this, and I wanted to show you. This guy is the first one. I wonder how many investors have been damaged by buying an unlicensed security compared to millions being damaged by the current actions by the SEC. The untimely or very timed suit happens to align with a Coinbase IPO announcement and BTC hitting new highs, almost as if the suit is meant to bring as much harm as possible, no matter the legal outcome. I believe XRPL is superior payments blockchain, and the XRP Explorer, which will continue to provide analytical insights and combat illicit activity on the XRPL despite recent events. In other words, it will continue to live on. And then this one was interesting too. After Brad Garlinghouse published that he could have already settled but him and Chris chose not to. The backdrop of this entire case is clear. Ripple is making a point. I think they will be aggressive with their great legal team, and the case will eventually be dropped. They are not acting like they are trying to avoid a scandal. Settling implies guilt. They chose not to settle. Then there was this one. With the SEC turning their sights on Ripple, we could see many more crypto companies end up in similar positions in the near future. You should assess that risk appropriately if it applies to your crypto investments. Obviously, assess like Bitcoin or are void of direct civil risks, assets like Bitcoin. So that's the point I was making earlier. Look, if you want, if what I have as an insurance policy, more or less, is a little bit of exposure to Bitcoin and Ethereum. So it's not going to happen. But what if an XRP went to zero? What if they declared owning XRP illegal? Well, if they did something as stupid as that, that means that they're taking this Bitcoin and Ethereum ride, and this is what they're going to ride from then on. Well, and that ride will be an enjoyable ride if that was the scenario. But that's not going to happen because the XRP ledger can't be put back in the bottle. But it doesn't hurt to have a little bit of exposure. Even Brad Garlinghouse says he's got exposure to Bitcoin and some of the others too. That's not a bad thing. Even though I will be continuing to accumulate XRP. Heoseko Carmona sent me this. JC Collins, sales price on XRP just in time for Christmas. Buy when there's blood in the streets. Investing 101. Ripple and XRP aren't going anywhere. He's right. They're not going anywhere. And then XRP, let Ripple battle in the courts while we build bridges across the crypto community. Even with the haters, this is a threat to all crypto innovation. Nothing can stop the coming change but division. XRP is a bridge asset, so let's build bridges into the future. And then Dilip Rao, who he doesn't work at Ripple any longer, but he said this: no matter what twists and turns are ahead, we will stand by our employees, shareholders, and customers. It's still business as usual. We need to stay focused and continue to deliver the value that hundreds of customers around the globe have come to expect from Ripple. Go Brad. Yes, go Brad. And then this is from Bob Ross from Sologenic. The lawsuit against Ripple is a major attack against the whole crypto space by the SEC. The outcome is predictable according to the previous cases. Ripple will most likely settle this down before the case even goes to court. This is what I believe too. I believe this gets settled before this thing goes anywhere. I believe, and the reason I believe that is that we are literally in the year of the digital asset, and this whole industry is right now about to take off, and I don't think that Ripple is going to sit around and not just get this behind them. I just don't believe that. I could be wrong, but I don't believe it. Okay, Galgatron had an interesting thread here. He says, I'm going to show you why this SEC lawsuit is probably going to very quickly and ironically determine XRP isn't a security. A precedent lawsuit that the SEC filed against Kik for precisely the same reason. Specifically, targeted Kik's early sales of their KIN token continued. The lawsuit made no attempt to characterize KIN as a security or a currency. It just focused on the nature of Kik's $100 million in KIN token sales, which the SEC decided were close enough to security sales to pursue it. A pittance of $5 million fine was levied against Kik. Very important quote. Undisputed facts established that Kik's sales of KIN tokens were sales of investment contracts and therefore securities. Notice the context. Kik's sales of KIN tokens were sales of investment contracts. It clearly distinguishes KIN tokens from the selling activity. In other words, it was the selling that's being characterized as a security transaction, not the asset itself. Okay, now I'm not going to go through the rest of this, but you kind of get the picture of that. But you can go and read the rest of his thread if you want. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that there will be no wavering here. I am buying XRP. Go down some more and I'll buy some more. Thanks for listening.